with this one, look, the whoop line is doing work, yeah?
Yeah.
So you know that as soon as you start to take that off, the boat's going to start to come back. That's okay, because you're going to do it nice and quickly. All right?
Okay. Say when.
Go.
We're off. What a... We call them Captain Zizi. Hello sailors. Zizi, if you don't know your French slang, means a tiny aubergine emoji. Anyway, welcome back to Sailing Here. In this week's episode, we tackle not one, but two of France's most notorious races, the Chenal de Four and the Raz de Sein. First up, it's the Chenal de Four, a serious piece of water due to the Ile de Wesson and the shallows and islands off the northwest corner of France. So the fishing rod is out.
Yes.
And because for the last 2 days Yui's been sat on deck with Rob fishing, it's now a thing. She's made a habit of it already, so because Rob is fishing, Yui has to be right next to him. It's now their thing that they do. It's so cute.
We're about 45 minutes from the start of the Chenal de Four. The wind is not coming from the north, it's coming from the west. Extremely light, extremely fluky. And the swell, okay, it's not 8 foot like it, or 10 foot like it has been over the last couple of days, but it's not 3 foot like forecast, that's for certain. Because we've got no sails up, we're pretty much at the mercy of that swell, which of course is on the beam. On the starboard beam. So yeah, the bloody gunnels have been in the water with a few of the swells that have gone through. Uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not the best, is it?
No. Although I have a very nice new pair of sunglasses. Are these pink? Are these pink? Oh my goodness, they're pink. I didn't notice that. This is what happens. Do you know, I have never ever dropped a pair of sunglasses into the sea, and yesterday I was getting in the dinghy trying to do everything and I dropped me bloody sunglasses and I looked at them and I thought, oh, do they float? And whilst I was having that thought, they started to sink. If I just bloody grabbed them instead of thinking, do they float, I would have me other sunglasses now. And we're just coming past Le Fort Lighthouse. So I'm guessing we're coming down it now. We may also be in the lee of Ouchon because the swell has definitely subsided noticeably in the last 5 minutes. Pork liver pate for the Yui.
She's a very good girl.
Oh, yum yum. One more bit. Oh, lovely. Literally boats sailing the other way up past us. Madness. But they seem to be making good speed on the AIS, so I don't know. Je ne sais pas. And continuing to make the way down the Chenal. This is La Val-Belle, Port Marga. You can see the tide hitting the base of it, going the same way as us. Quite strong. We're doing 7.1 knots now. We're still under engine, but we have got some northerly in the wind now, and we put a bit of Genoa out. I say a bit, we put the whole thing out. And it did give us an extra 0.7 of a knot, so it's doing work, which is nice. Can you see the bloody big ferry? Yeah, it's bearing down on us, doing 16 knots, which is more than we are. And I'm guessing it's going to be using the same channel markers as us. We need to keep an eye on that. So you can see the current running with us. Kind of weird water, but I don't want to count my chickens, but it has been quite benign so far coming through here. Welcome back to another edition of Ferry Watch, and here we have the ferry, the Santona. Apparently it's 700 feet long and 100 foot wide with a 6 foot draft. 6 foot? 6 metres? Can't remember. 6 foot doesn't sound very shallow. 6 foot's the same as us? Can't be that. Starboard channel marker Saint-Pierre. You can see the tide absolutely thundering past. Like a little washing machine at the bottom of it. Rocks over there. You can see some slight overfalls. Ferry still here. It would be coming at us at the narrowest part of the entire channel, where we've got the strongest tidal flow and the least manoeuvrability. I'm going to move over a little bit more. So there's a sailing vessel over here, Restless. They'd left the channel altogether, which in theory sounds like a good idea until you notice that there's a load of overfalls because the depth down there gets down to about 2 metres. And now they're coming back into the channel because they've seen that. I think we might get some wake from this ferry, darling.
I think we might get a little bit of wake. just a smidge.
Just a little bit.
A little roll. It can't be more than the swell earlier. Or can it?
Famous last words. Now we're talking. 8.7 knots through the pinch point with a ferry. There's the evidence. I've left the marked channel while it passes. Couldn't give it more room. I was on a forum the other day and someone was asking if the Brittany ferry still used this channel. Confirmed. Powered by LNG. What's that? Liquid natural gas? Yeah, and there's not. It doesn't stink like a lot of the ferries do. It doesn't have a lot of black smoke coming out the top of it. That's a good thing, I'm sure. We are all over the shop in the wake. Not as bad as some ferries have given us. .3 knots! Double digits, baby! Right, let's check the charts because we need to get back on the channel here. The point to St. Matthew and the view 1. Jibe there, just to keep us on our toes. This is definitely back in swell territory, as we're coming out the bottom of the Chenal, and I think this is the bit our friends were talking about. It's a bit bumpy. I mean, come on, we've just gone through the Chenal de Fort in the most benign conditions possible, so we can't complain at this. But not long to go now. How was that?
Well, yeah, the second half of it was fine. The actual Chenal de Fort was alright.
Yeah.
It was just getting there, which was rubbish.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. Like the getting to the Chenal de Fort was very uncomfortable with the swell, but the sound itself was absolutely fine. Again, you couldn't wish for more benign conditions. But we've waited 3 days for this. We were going to do it 3 days ago. There was a 15 to 20 knot onshore breeze with a 10-foot swell, and we made the decision very late. We were going to go. We made the decision on the morning, didn't we? And we said, "Ah, yeah." I think if you'd been feeling well, if you hadn't been feeling unwell, we would have gone. And I'm glad in hindsight we didn't now. I'm glad we waited. So yeah, Chenal de Sein, bring on the Raz. Sorry, fly. 5.5 hours in, 30 miles done. Most of which I feel we're in the last kind of couple of hours as we went through the Chenal there. So we've got 5 miles to go. Someone's ordered some wind this afternoon, which wasn't in the forecast, which is fine. It's behind us. So we've got the Genoa out. We're still motor sailing though. Yeah, we should be there in 40 minutes.
In Camaret, our home for the next couple of nights. Works out at about 15 quid for the mooring, and this is us on A3. Chenal de Sein is complete, and now we need to fill our bellies. Are you ready?
I am very ready.
Cameret-sur-Mer might seem quiet now, but yesterday we shared the place with about 2,000 bikers who were attending the 10th anniversary of the Pardon des Motards, the Pardon of the Bikers, featuring a huge outdoor mass at the local Chapelle de Notre Dame. We also saw these huge abandoned fishing boats and wondered what stories the crews of these vessels would have to tell. Is that nice? You having some sausage? Yui's all tired after our trip to shore in the dinghy. Rob is cooking in pants again, so I'm being very careful how I frame this.
It's très chaud again, that's why. I think this is going to be a feature of the summer.
Yes.
The camera's definitely panned up more than it usually would be.
It has panned up. But boat life. Sometimes you're eating out of cans because all you've got is tinned food and the nearest supermarket is miles away, and sometimes, oh my goodness, what have we got there?
Côte de Boeuf, 1.1 kilos.
Oh wow. Nice
butcher today. It was only 27 euros, which is what, 24 quid? That's not bad for a massive steak dinner in for two. Yes,
because England men are playing, so we're gonna compensate for the thrilling match that is bound to happen by having delicious food. And I'm sure, you know, that's a lot of steak, but someone might be able to help us out. Who would that be, Yui?
We need a garbage disposal unit.
We have one.
England
England already have 3 yellow cards. And we've got a yellow steak. Mustard. Well, England are losing, but we're winning.
Stones.
Still losing. Still winning. Oh my god, I can't wait to eat this. And look who's appeared. As if by magic. What summoned you here, Yui?
And the late challenge by Kutska on Declan Rice. That tightrope's getting thinner. Been played for.
God!
Morning, it is Raz de Sein day, and we're going to try something we haven't done before. We're going to try to get the main up while we're still on the mooring buoy. So we're making sure the main sheet's nice and nice and eased. Rob is pulling some of the reef line through already, because our reef lines tend to get a little bit sticky towards the top. I can see it.
Where is it?
Just above the bag. Okay. That's done. Okay, first line's off.
All right.
Say when you want the second.
Hang on a sec. Right, go.
We're off. And that was Camaret-sur-Mer. And very nice it was too.
Off the toilets.
Apart from the toilets, they were the worst marina toilets we have ever seen. I'd go so far as to say they were a disgrace. Would you agree?
Not good. Not good.
It was a bit like something out of a horror movie. You've got to go down these stairs, like below ground, and then there's a big heavy metal door with bars on it, covered in graffiti. Looks like something out of Saw. Ugh. But something that wasn't a disgrace was putting the main up.
No. Nice sailing off a mooring, boy. It really is. Our mainsail has been really difficult to put up. We got a new mainsail. We've changed the slugs into sliders and all that. We're trying loads of different methods to ease the tension. It is a known issue with these boats. Apparently the sheaves at the top of the mast are not big enough. Yeah, I mean, just doing it like that while we were still attached to a mooring buoy, it allowed us to try different things out without it, without the swell taking us everywhere and everything, didn't it? So yeah, I learned a little bit, and hopefully it's going to be easy to get up in future.
Yeah.
For a better friend.
And we've got one reef in, just in case, because it is supposed to get up a little bit later.
So yeah, as Faye might have been saying, Raz de Sein today, really notorious one. I get goose pimples just by saying it. Known for being a pretty nasty stretch of water in the wrong conditions. But our conditions today are looking alright. We've got a north kind of west wind. It is getting up to 21 knots, but at least it's going in the right direction. Tide will start to turn south in the Raz de Sein at high water Cherbourg -5 hours. Again, Monty Mariner's tidal tables have been used. High water Cherbourg today is at 17:47, so at 12:47 the south going tide will start. We should get there at about 1:15, 1:30, depending on how quick it is when we turn the corner here out of Camaret. So yeah, jack stays are on today, you know. You can sail and sail and sail, but I don't know if you ever get used to the feeling when you set off on a passage that you know can be a bit fruity, still carry the nerves. I guess it's just respect for the sea and the elements, you know. But we certainly respect it, and hopefully we're doing everything right today, and it'll be a pleasant sail. The disappointing thing is that we did want to get into a lovely place called Audierne, which is a bit up a river. We can only do that minus 3 hours high water or plus 1 hour after high water, so a 4 hour window. It looks all right on the chart, like to get in, but you know, we've had places like this before when it said, you know, really restrictive, and actually a couple of hours either side of low water has been fine. But I don't want to test it out, especially because we'll be going in there on a decreasing tide as well. Maybe as if it was an increasing tide. So we might go in there tomorrow on the high water slack, given that there's a bit of a tidal stream running in Audierne as well, which apparently again people have a good laugh at with people trying to berth in a 4-knot tidal stream. I don't want them to be laughing at me. So we might just bugger off in the morning off the mooring point, but we'll see. I know the weather forecast's wrong, but is it all right?
It's very pleasant. It's much nicer than the other day.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, that's like the stability of having the mainsail up.
Damn right. Yeah. So the other day we had a 5-foot swell on the beam, and there was hardly any wind, so we didn't have any sails up. And what Faye was talking about was that when there's no sails up, bloody hell, the boat wobbles from side to side with that kind of swell. It was chronic. It was like there was poltergeist down below. Yeah, the gunnels were in the water just off the swell at times, just on that rock over. But today it's a very similar type of swell on the same position, and just with the sails up, we're just cruising straight through it. It's really, really comfortable actually. So I know the weather forecast's wrong, but it's still pleasant. We're still making between 5 and 5.5 knots down towards the Raz.
What is it about dolphins always showing up when you're that little bit nervous? These guys and gals dropped by to give us a pep talk, then sent us on our way, ready for the Raz. It's so cool! Just sitting on the bow under massive Genoa, the dolphins all around, I can hear them squeaking, it's so cute.
Closer look at today's passage. This is where we are, this is where we came from, this is where we're going. This is the Raz. So about 7.9 miles away from it, 2 hours in. We're shaking a reef out because the wind just didn't arrive. But we're now doing between 6 and 7 knots. This is where the magic will happen, down here. Overfalls everywhere on the charts, but we'll see what happens today. Big tidal stream running through here between these two landmasses, but this arrow will be pointing south in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So we should be there in just over an hour, so it should be well south going. And then we'd be back to port, follow the coast down and pick up a mooring buoy here, because I was talking about before, we couldn't get up this river, and especially in a falling tide. So we'll stay here for the night. Hopefully this breakwater here will protect us a bit for the night. That's Point de Raz. We're 20 minutes away. Making 7 knots now, so we've been picked up by the tidal stream as well. Oh, swell has definitely increased. I'm holding a cup of tea. Probably not the best time to have a cup of tea as you're just approaching the Raz de Sein, but it might be the last cup of tea we have. You never know. It's looking like a sailing superhighway down there at the moment. There's about 8 boats. There's even a French warship, GLY, down there as well. Yeah, the swell has definitely increased in size, there's no doubt about that. So keep our wits about us, get this tea drank as quickly as possible, and then we'll be alert. We can handle it. That's 2 boats now that have been coming the other way. It's in full flow to the south. That's mad that, unless there's something I don't know. Maybe this has been built up, I don't know. Side-on swell is definitely increasing. But we're just going up and down because we're nicely balanced out with the sails. I didn't expect to see boats coming the other way. The unmistakably weird and spiky water of a race in full tidal flow when it comes out on the camera always looks the same.
Are they in the ovals?
I think they must be on like the inside of the most inside passage going. So here we are in the middle of the Raz de Sein. It's been absolutely fine. We time it this way, don't we? So the tide's always going with us. We pick a good weather window. Portland Bill, we also went through Portland Bill and it was absolutely fine. But here we are in the middle of the Raz de Sein and the wind has just completely stopped. So we're floating along now just with the current going south. But yeah, how bizarre is that? It's literally just gone doink off. Well, what a difference a few minutes make. We're through the Raz, returning west towards the Audierne, or at least the river mouth where there's some mooring buoys. And the sea state has just completely flattened out. And the wind has gone right round to the north. Well, the northwest. So we're downwind sailing just on the Genoa at the moment, doing 5 knots an hour to go at this rate. Sun's come out as well, and I had my top off earlier because I was going to even out the tan a little bit. It needs an evening out. And hilarity ensued, of course. You know, I got the piss taken out of me, as I do. Sure, other skippers of boats get the piss taken out of them by their crew as well. But yeah, can't complain here. This is really, really nice. Feel like I'm sailing in like the French Riviera or something, you know. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
This is us for the night. was saying before GoPro decided to die on me was that the beaches are so pretty, just like perfect white sand, lots of tiny little shells. There's like big boulders between the actual beach and the water, and then there's all this turquoise water around the shoreline. It's so pretty. That's it for this week, sailors. Well done for completing the Chenal de Fort and Raz de Sein. We hope you crew again with us next week when we head to the magical walled town of Concarneau. Like, comment, share and subscribe, and as always, my nautical friends, fair winds.